Hello there and welcome to Friday. Yeah, we're live here on Global Irish Radio this Friday, January the 16th, 2026. Welcome to the weekend. It's Global Irish Radio and the Daily Crack Show with me, Sean G. Coming at you live from just outside Castlebar here in lovely County Mayo, headquarters to Global Irish Radio, the Irish diaspora station. But we bring you programmes, our tentacles, they go far and wide to the four corners of the globe, and lots of great Irish programmes from the Irish diaspora right here on Global Irish Radio. We'll be making stops all around the world this weekend. We hope you're well this Friday. Are you still on the wagon? Dry January continues, and it's the first day of the second half of the month. Does that make sense? Anyway, it's another week under our belt. Give yourself a pat on the back. These weeks in January, they're tough. They can be tough. And particularly if you are observing Dry January. There are social triggers everywhere. And if you were listening to the programme yesterday, we were having some guests over after the show, and Margaret invited them over for coffee. And I suggested, well, why not make it memorable and make them Irish coffees? So the ladies arrived and Margaret got to know how to make an Irish coffee. The ladies loved it. They were lit when they left here yesterday. They had a good time. But anyway, there you go. Tough watching that stuff when you are on the wagon and observing, as I say, Dry January. But, you know, one feels good when one detoxes and takes a break from all of that stuff. Same with the sugar and the sweet stuff as well. It's never any harm to give things like that a break or a rest and detox. Lovely, lovely day here in the west of Ireland today, and probably across the island of Ireland. It's been rather a mixed bag when it comes to the weather in recent weeks. We've had all four seasons basically, but today, lovely, lovely sunshine. It's chilly out there, so wrap up well if you're heading out. And it looks like being a rather nice weekend. Mostly dry, mostly sunny. Temperatures dropping, so it is a little bit cooler. And there's a chance of some showers maybe later on tonight. So after that, the temperatures dropping down could give rise to some frost, obviously, and some icy conditions tomorrow. So watch out for that. We don't want to repeat it last Saturday. Last Saturday night it rained rather heavy, and particularly in the west here in Mayo, and the roads were like treacherous the next morning because it started freezing, untreated, and cars were moving at a snail's pace in the ditches and all over the show. So we don't want that to happen, so watch out for that. But it does look like being a rather pleasant weekend. Get out there and get some steps in. And looking ahead to next week, an Arctic bomb could possibly sweep across the country. Not entirely sure. There could be some sensationalizing of that story, but something along the lines of the beast from the east, if it were to come this way. And there are various weather models suggesting that it may or it may not. So we will wait and see. But that would lead to obviously difficult travel conditions again, and a lot of snow and ice. Very few will forget 2018 with everything ground to a complete standstill for quite a while. So that's on the horizon, and most parts of the UK are certainly likely to get hit again with that. It's a 1-2 punch, I suppose, in the UK. They had Storm Gorecki last week, dumping a lot of snow and severe heavy winds as well with that particular storm system that came through from the Europe side, which was that storm named by the French Weather Service there. As I said before, if they come from the other side across the Atlantic, they get named by the Irish Met Service or the British Met Service or the Dutch. In partnership with all three, they come up with the named storms of the year. So that's that. It depends, I suppose, to a degree, listening to some of the weather people, what's happening on the Atlantic side, and will it push back the colder weather from the east, and what will dominate? That's what's up in the air. That's what the weather people have to figure out. So we leave that up to them. We sure hope you're well this Friday. Looking forward to the weekend. Quiet enough Friday. It is a quiet day. Not much going on in the papers. Have nothing in the papers to say. It's everybody is already checked out and into the weekend mode already. That's the thing about Fridays these days. Lots of people work from home, of course, as well. Not a tap gets done in the country. And that certainly seems to be the case. Looking at the papers, there's very little in the papers today. It's all fillers and that kind of stuff. Anyway, the Late Show returns tonight. Some interesting guests for you. We'll tell you who's going to be on. So Something to look forward to on your Friday night as you relax and unwind into the weekend. So we'll share with you who's on. There's some as interesting guests, and still a lot of talk about last week's Late Late Trad show. Lots of people like that, and there was some good tunes and great guests. And of course, Donal Lunny was inducted into the Traditional Music Hall of Fame. So great feedback on the Late Late last week, and we'll see what's in store this week. GlobalIrishRadio.com, your home for great Irish music 24/7. Streaming on as many as 25 digital platforms. You'll find us on Alexa and on the Global Irish Radio app. It's back now in the app stores, particularly the Apple Store, where it was missing for a little while. Get it while stocks last. Niall Stanage is at the heart of many conversations today. Who is he, says you? And, well, he's the journalist that was... he's the journalist at the White House, and he was at the White House asking what many perceive to be a fairly legitimate question on the ICE shooting in Minneapolis, and the White House press secretary Caroline Levitt lashed out at him, didn't like the question, and called him a left-wing hack or something of that nature. Yeah, and yeah, that's the thing these days, and you know, if the approach by the everybody in the administration essentially is, if they don't like the question, they just attack the reporter, which is a little bit unfair, because like, as president, I get it if you're campaigning to be president, but once you're president and your administration is in place, you should be a president and an administration for all of the people and all of the country. And sadly, it looks like these days that, you know, this administration and this president is a president for MAGA and his cult followers, and beyond that, nobody else gets a look in. And if you dare question anything, you're just personally attacked. It's not the way to go. The reporters have a legitimate right to be there asking the questions on behalf of all of the people. So as to whether he's a left-wing hack or not, shouldn't come into. She's paid to answer questions. Her job is to be there to give people, you know, to answer the reporters' questions, to account for what's happening in terms of the administration, the president, and all of his hacks. But anyway, you know, so first of all, one gets the sense that, you know, that's the culture of the place now. But anyway, in terms of who is Niall Stanage, well, you might have noticed that he's got a bit of a strong accent. In fact, it's a Northern Ireland accent. He was born in Belfast, then he moved off the UK. In terms of his educational background, he's got a BA in English language and literature from Oxford, and then he moved to Ireland for a time, where he was the editor of the McGill magazine, which is a political magazine that existed. It's gone now, but back in the day it was a political magazine here in Ireland. And then he moved off to the United States, where he worked. He spent times writing for the New York Observer. He's been a contributor to the Sunday Business Post here in Ireland. He's made contributions to the Wall Street Journal, The Guardian, The Irish Independent, and now I believe he's a columnist for The Hill, which is a publication out there in Washington. And for Caroline Levitt to say that he had no right or entitlement to be in the press pool or in the room asking questions, I think most people would say that's rather unfair. And he has every right and every entitlement to be there. I mean, he's got the credentials. He's got a very decorated CV. He's worked for a lot of major titles. And asking a legitimate question and to be shot down and to be insulted in the way that he was, many people, and not just because he's Irish or he's from Belfast, same goes for any reporter. So a lot of people talking, obviously, over here, wondering, because the accent, they heard the people were trying to place, where's this guy from? You know, he sounds a little bit different to the other yes men reporters in the room, and so that's the background to Niall Stanage. And he got a bit of a dressing down from Caroline Levitt, but you make one of that what you will. I mean, reporters, they have a job to do, and that's what he was doing, and it shouldn't matter who he's asking the questions or what constituency he's asking the questions. They're legitimate questions, and the press, they do important work. And isn't that what democracy is all about? Last I checked, you're allowed to have opinions and express your opinions and ask questions of that nature, rather than just asking, the questions that they want you to ask. When you don't ask those, these days, it's a case of, you get insulted and the personal attacks start coming because they don't like the questions. But anyway, enough of that for now. American politics just depresses me these days, so leave that. But staying with Mary Kay, the great Mary Kay, the creator of a board game that is based on the Irish famine, is taking some heat, as you can probably imagine. And that's because of the subject matter of the game. It has upset a lot of people, particularly Irish people, and particularly Irish people here in Ireland. Because as you know, given our history and the fact that either, 4 million people either starved or immigrated during the Great Famine. It's the reason why there's, I suppose so many Irish Americans and Irish people in America. And the fact that there's a diaspora of about over 30, maybe 32, 33 million people in America that claim Irish heritage, in large part due to the famine times when people were faced with the stark choice of starving to death or trying to get on one of those coffin ships and making it to the States for a new life. So that particular dark chapter of history, it's sensitive, and this new board game is obviously going down like a lead balloon for Irish people very familiar with Irish, the history of Ireland and that period of Irish history. Survival is victory, according to the game's creator, and there's references to the potato and Daniel O'Connell and the British and the coffin ships and stuff like that. Kevin McPartland is the creator of the game, and he defended the game live on Liveline yesterday, which is the Ireland's most popular talk shop, I suppose. People call in and they get things off their chest, and if they have something, it's a bit like the Irish ranter. They rant about things, and so they ranted about the game. A lot of people not happy, and as Kevin McPartland defended the game on Liveline, describing the game as immersive, and he says it's really about storytelling and telling the story and giving people the experience of what the famine was about through the board game. Although folks listening weren't really having it. Some labelled it paddywhackery. And I suppose fortunately for Kevin, the game is not targeting Ireland or the Irish market. It is more for the Americans, and apparently it has been better or well received or better received in that in where it's targeted the Irish Americans, I suppose, and stuff like that. And people are intrigued by, oh honey, a board game about the Irish famine, we gotta check that out. Anyway, over here it's like, how dare he, and that kind of thing. So there you go, maybe a cultural thing, but maybe to do with the fact that if you know the story of the famine and the history behind it, it's a sensitive thing, isn't it? It is a sensitive thing. So that's the board game that won't be on the shopping list next Christmas here in this part of the world. We hope you're well anyway, friends, and thank you for being with us each day here on Global Irish Radio. It's the Daily Crack Show with me, Sean G, with you most days round about the 3 to 4 o'clock hour, keeping you connected with Mother Ireland and filling you in on what's happening here, what you're missing, the stories, the top trending stories, the chitter chatter of the nation. There's music as well, so if there's ever anything you want to hear, don't be shy. studio@gir.ie will get us right here at the studio. And if you haven't been listening all week long, some of the stories you may have missed. Of course, the week got off to a great start. Gave us a bit of a lift on Monday morning when we woke up to hear that Jess Buckley had won the Golden Globe for her part in that movie Hamlet, all about Shakespeare, and she played the role of Shakespeare's wife, and Shakespeare is played by Paul Mescal. Now, he did not get honoured or a recognition or an award, but Jess Buckley did, and she's been like just swiping the board in terms of the awards this award season, and the Critics' Choice Award went to her. The Screen Actors Guild, they have a different name for it now, but she won that one as well, and the hat trick this past last weekend with the Golden Globe. And I can tell you, hopes are high for Irish success at the Oscars this year. So a lot of us will be watching, and a lot of people are feeling good. And folks down in Killarney, the town was alive. There was a buzz in the town of Killarney where she comes from. So a lovely story. Lovely girl. Great at her trade and doing big things. And we think, a little bit biased of course, but we think that the Oscar will be hers, but we don't want to jinx it or anything like that. But that's Jess Buckley giving us a lot to be happy about in the movies. What else happened this past week? Oh yeah, the price of the pint. There was a lot of talk and a lot of coverage all week long on the fact that Diageo are planning on raising the price of the pint. Not by much, but still enough to make the publicans rather unhappy at it. And it's the fifth increase now in about, is it 3 years or something like that? I forget the details of it, but it gave the publicans a chance to come out and complain about their rising costs with labour costs, energy costs, inflation, and the tough trading conditions. So Diageo wasn't, and doing it in dry January and announcing that it will come into effect literally the 2nd of February. So the publicans, it's bad timing for the publicans because they're down in the dumps already because half the country is not drinking because a lot of people, as I've been saying to you, are observing dry January this year, and it's that's a long month to have your revenue down, and right after Christmas as well. So understandably, the publicans not happy at that, and that's a story for several days was dominating a lot of the red tops anyway, the papers here in this country, and a lot of people talking about the fact, because in reality the price increase is about 7 cents, but it'll translate to much more by the time it gets to you, to factor in profit, gross profit, and VAT and all of those other little things that push the price up. So that's the price of the pint going up, and not to be outdone by Diageo and Post also raising their prices. That's another story that was getting a bit of attention this week, and the price of the stamp going up by another 26, and on Post as well, guilty of a lot of price increases over the last few years. It takes the price of the basic stamp from 165 to 185, and it's because nobody's posting letters anymore. Very few people are sending letters in the mail, and so it is a struggle for An Post to cover their costs and that kind of thing. So the stamps going up right across the board. For a stamp to the United States, I think it's going to be about $3.95 off the top of my head, and maybe $3.50 for the rest of Europe. But for a stamp to mail a letter here in Ireland, which never gets there, by the way, or at least it takes a while. I had an argument with An Post about this, and he told me that 90% of the mail arrives the next day. To which I replied, well, I must be the 10% that has to wait a week. But anyway, a lot of people kind of feel that way because you talk to people and they're waiting a long time these days to get their letters, and all of a sudden the letters all arrive at once, like all of our Christmas cards coming after Christmas, well into January. So I think the postman is sitting on them for a few days before he decides to deliver them. But anyway, there you go, the price of the stamp going up once again, and from 165 to 185. So another talking point this week, although people were more peeved off by the pint going up than the stamp, because more people drink than post letters, so it's understandable. Another big story from the week gone by: Enoch Burke was released from jail on Wednesday. Thursday he was back at the school where he shouldn't be. It was a media circus all day there yesterday as he faced off against the security guard hired there by his own wages, it should be pointed out, to keep him out. It's comical. You couldn't make this stuff up, and a very persistent Enoch Burke showed up there giving out yards about the judge who let him out from jail. And the judge had remarked earlier, the day before he let him out, he said he'd never known anyone to shoot themselves in the foot as much as Enoch Burke. But anyway, that's the drama that continues with the Burkes, and a lot of screaming, a lot of shouting, no doubt, will be going on in the court today because he is back. He's been hauled before the court again today, as was promised by the judge if he did show up. So it's likely that Enoch Burke could be back behind bars before the weekend is out. That's the latest in the Enoch Burke saga, which is ongoing. It's very hard to see how that will end. And another story as well from the week gone by: Mary McAleese creating quite a stir with her comments that the sacrament of baptism was a breach of a baby's human rights. That raised a lot of eyebrows and a lot of consternation, particularly in more conservative quarters. And she said nobody is born a Catholic, and they had basically essentially something along the lines of the right to decide or something like that. So a lot of people not happy, particularly with Mary McAleese on that front. It's not the first time that she has come out, even though she is a self-proclaimed staunch Catholic. She has, she's clashed with the church on a lot of different things, and this is just the latest one. So I don't know, maybe it's to get clicks, maybe it's not, but she was writing in the Irish Times last week when she dropped that story. So there you go, a lot of people talking about that as well. So those are some of the bigger stories from the week gone by. Of course, we cover them all each day here live on Global Irish Radio for the Daily Crack Show, which is the hour that we're having right now here on Global Irish Radio. Usually on a Friday, or recently on a Friday, or going forward on a Friday, we were planning to have reporter William J. Kelly from Chicago, but William can't be with us today. He had to pull out there at the last minute for various reasons, which is a shame because lots to talk about today with William if he were to be with us, including the Bears' Super Bowl chances. The Bears could be, well, they're doing what we won't jinx it, but we wish the Bears all the best, because anybody that's from Chicago will know that the Bears are much loved, and even when they're not doing well, which is most of the time, they still manage to sell out their games. And a lot of talk. The Bears are on the move as well. There's a lot of. I was hoping to ask William about that, where they likely end up, because they have falling out of love with the city and the stadium they're at right now, Soldiers Field, and talk of moving either to Indiana or to Arlington Heights, which is a suburb of Chicago. So anyway, William's not with us today. He was out at the I seen pictures of him online. He sent me pictures of him at the Queen contest, the St. Patrick's Day Queen contest. It's that time of the year when they pick the Queen to be representing Chicago at this year's St. Patrick's Day Parade. So we had lots to talk about, but unfortunately William couldn't be with us today. So we'll catch up with William next week. Somebody that will be with us later on today, not on the air here, but taping the show, the Irish Ranter, will be sitting down after this broadcast to record the next episode of the Irish Ranter. Lots of rants, and you can catch up on all of those when the episode drops, hopefully later on tonight. So that's the Irish Ranter with John Gurry and myself, our podcast that we do here on Global Irish Radio. Dailycrack.com, that's where you'll find podcasts of this broadcast. If you can't catch it live, you don't want to catch it live, or you can't for whatever reason. And irishpodcast.com, of course, is your gateway to a whole world of podcast listening. And lots of people like to listen to things on their own terms these days. And that's the way to do it. Podcast.com, irishpodcast.com even, is where you'll find all of the most listened to podcasts here in Ireland. And the top 10 countdown gives you an idea of, what's on our minds and what we're talking about, that kind of stuff. Depending on what's happening in the world, it kind of determines the makeup of the top 10 podcasts in terms of, the politics and stuff like that. When there are big things happening, you'll see the political ones rise higher on the list or get more listens, that kind of stuff, as people try to figure out what is happening in this world of ours. If you do want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening here in Ireland, a couple of podcasts or a couple of shows that I would recommend that you tune into regularly. Just keep an eye on, or keep informed, if you will, and get good perspective on what really is happening. Path to Power with Matt Cooper, which goes out on, it drops, I think, late Friday night, maybe Saturday mornings. You'll get that at Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, basically. And then on Sunday mornings on RTE, it is the Brendan O'Connor Show, but the first hour is the newspaper panel, and that's where he has a panel of guests, and they delve into what's some of the stories in the Sunday papers. So it's a good, it reflects, basically, again, the big stories of the week gone by. So both of those are very, very good listening. And as I say, we link you to all kinds of podcasts at irishpodcast.com. So as I say, a gateway to a world of wonderful podcast listening. This is we are Global Irish Radio, and this is the Daily Crack Show with me, Sean G, with you for the hour, so stay tuned, and lots more to come between now and 3. Let's get some tunes going, though, as we get into Friday and people want to let their hair down and relax. We have something from Johnny McAvoy, and this one's called Tarry Flynn, to open us up this Friday. Happy Friday.
That I should be spared such a life of drudgery, of digging clay, tossing cocks of hay, wishing all the day that somehow I could be free. Oh, you're a rascal, Tarry Flynn, you're writing poetry instead of digging drills, strolling around the fields all day. Won't you ever work, or won't you ever stay? Mother, can't you see that the farmer's life, it was never meant for me to reap and sow? I don't want to know, but to Dublin go, for that's where my life should be. Oh, you're a rascal, Tarry Flynn, you're writing poetry instead of digging drills, strolling around the fields all day. Won't you ever work, or won't you ever stay? Don't come to say goodbye, mothers always cry. Shake my hand and set me free when fame has come to my Dublin home. Maybe then you'll come there someday and visit me. Oh, you're a rascal, Tarry Flynn, you're writing poetry instead of digging drills, strolling around the fields all day. Won't you ever work, or won't you ever stay? Tardy Flynn, you're writing poetry instead of digging drills. Strolling around the fields all day, won't you ever work or won't you ever stay?
You're listening to Sean G on Global Irish Radio.
Global Irish Radio listeners out there, wherever you may be. It's myself, Finbar, here in beautiful northern Colorado, inviting you along to the Raggle Taggle Celtic Folk Show, streaming here live every Monday and Friday evening at 10 p.m. Irish time, where you're guaranteed to hear some rare old recordings from the old country and beyond. And it's all here on globalirishradio.com, the home of the Raggle Taggle. Listen to the Raggle Taggle on Global Irish Radio.
That's right, friends. It's all right here on Global Irish Radio. Later on tonight, 7 o'clock Irish time, the latest episode of the Raggle Taggle, and the featured album this week, The Black Family. So something to look forward to later on tonight with Finbar. Lots of other great tunes in there as well. Old rare recordings that you wouldn't be finding anywhere else. So make it a date, 7 o'clock tonight here on Global Irish Radio. And if you miss it, 10 o'clock on Monday night, another chance to catch that broadcast as well. Coming up later today, it's the 2 hours of the Crack Radio Show from Philadelphia, the great city of Philadelphia, home to Mary Ellen Fitzpatrick, one of our great listeners out there. We hope you're well today, Mary Ellen. And what else happening today? Oh, of course, Tom is back, as always. Tom's Irish Radio Show live from the Windy City, 8 o'clock. All your requests and dedications, tom at gir.ie to get in on the action there. And it being a Friday, we go all the way down under to Sydney, Australia. Catch up with the folks down there, find out what's happening with the Sydney Irish. 3 hours of great Irish radio from that part of the world. 9 o'clock tonight, live here on Global Irish Radio for 3 hours up until midnight. Of course, it's Saturday morning out there, so it's 8 a.m. till 11 a.m. in Sydney, Australia. So some of the great programs coming your way later on this Friday. And of course, it being the weekend, it is a busy time here at Global Irish Radio. We make stops in Chicago, Boston, New York, Toronto, London, among others. So keep an eye on the schedule at globalirishradio.com, gir.ie. Let us see what is going on tonight's Late Show. And Patrick Keelty is back at 9:35 tonight with live chat and music and all of that nice stuff. Irish actress Ambeth McNulty, radio presenter Claire Byrne, and the OC star Misha Barton are set to appear on tonight's Late Show. Yep, that's who will be on the couch tonight. And following the massive success of supernatural Netflix series Stranger Things and her leading role in that, McNulty chats with Patrick Keelty about life in the spotlight, her massive online following, and how growing up in Letterkenny led her into acting. So there you go. That's the lovely Ambeth McNulty. All the way from Letterkenny to the Late Show tonight. Check that one out. Best known for the iconic teen drama, which I must admit I have not seen myself. OC, or the OC as they call it. Misha Barton drops by to chat about her latest stage role in Double Indemnity. So that's coming to the Gaiety Theatre later this year. So she'll be reflecting on her role in the OC, but also talking about her upcoming appearance or performance at the Gaiety. So, and what else? 30 years on from the murder of Veronica Gueron, crime journalist Nicola Tallant reflects on Gueron's remarkable career and her enduring legacy, and all of that nice stuff. Irish actress Charlene McKenna also joins Patrick on the couch this week. She's known for her role or her part in The Crucible. So a lot of actors and actresses, whatever you want to call them, on tonight's Late Show. And as far as the Amerique audience are concerned, Charlie Smith returns to the Late Show to talk about his extraordinary year. He'll be discussing making his debut in the NFL for the New Orleans Saints. So anybody who's familiar with the NFL will be familiar with Charlie Smith, and he's doing good things, big things over there. And and how he talks about how the support from home is driving him on, and why he has the Super Bowls in his sights. To find out why, well, you'll have to tune in later on tonight, 9:35, with Patrick Keelty, the Late Show. So that's the lineup. Lots of chitter chatter. Claire Byrne, of course, will be on there talking about her move from RTE Radio to News Talk, which is happening, or may have already happened. I think it's happening in maybe February, and Pat Kenny will be moving to the weekend. So those are the guests, and lots to keep you entertained as tonight on the Late Show, 9:35 p.m. and on the Player as well. Boxing legend Katie Taylor, I see, has been chatting about her move to the United States, and she said that move was the bravest thing that she ever had to do, inside or outside of the ring. Now, I wouldn't have thought it was that big of a thing, but I suppose when you're comfy in your surroundings and well established and successful, and to make the move, it is challenging, no doubt. The Bray Boxer 39 spoke with former US Ambassador to Ireland Claire Cronin at an event hosted by the Irish American Partnership yesterday, and she's talking about the fact that when she turned pro, she moved to the States. The sporting icon, who became the undisputed lightweight champion of the world in 2019, spoke about her career, the highlights, the setbacks, all of that nice stuff. And as I said, the big move across the States, and I guess she's right on the cusp of getting her citizenship now as well. She recently tied the knot, as you probably know if you've been listening to this program, or indeed following any events on social media or anything like that. But yeah, there you go. Boxing legend Katie Taylor talking about the move to the United States, and a nice piece on her in our papers today, and the hardest thing she's ever had to do. And she's had to do a lot of hard things, and inside or outside the ring. So there you go. continued success to Katie. It'll be interesting to see what happens, what's coming down the line next for her. But she's accomplished everything there is to accomplish. So really she has, hasn't she? GlobalIrishRadio.com, GIR.ie. This is the Daily Crack with me, Sean G. What else have we got for you today? I think we have... Do we have an update on Enoch Burke? Yes, the judge has ordered that teacher Enoch Burke be arrested and brought before the High Court on Monday to say why he should not be sent back to prison after he again breached an order not to trespass on Wilson's Hospital School in Westmeath. You couldn't make this stuff up, and as Willie Kelly says, why would you want to? So yeah, he's been hauled before the judge, and he's could be going back to jail again, but it remains to see what will happen there. There's no room for him in prison. We have a line. We have a queue to get in. But anyway, Michael O'Leary has denounced Elon Musk. Michael O'Leary being the chief executive of Ryanair. He's denounced Elon Musk as an idiot and urged people to pay no attention whatsoever to the world's richest man. The war of words erupted after Mr. Musk described Mr. O'Leary as misinformed about the capabilities of his company, Starlink. Now, this is to do with the fact that Ryanair have just opted not to include Starlink internet connections on board their flights. It's obviously peeved off Elon Musk, and for his part, Michael O'Leary was saying that, you know what, for the short haul flights, people probably weren't going to pay to access online content or get on the internet for the sake of an hour, or most of their flights are short haul, and he didn't think it was worth it, and so a war of words has erupted. And turns out what's rather interesting is Grok, which is Elon Musk's AI tool, which we've been hearing a lot about this week because of the Nudify feature and the undressing of people in pictures. But yeah, that same chatbot, Grok, sided with Michael O'Leary in the controversy. So there you go, interesting stuff. And Elon Musk has been described as a creepy little slime ball in the Dáil Chamber, yes, our national parliament, as there are fears that users can easily circumvent new restrictions in place for the AI tool Grok. You know, there was intense pressure all week long because of this Nudify feature, and you know, he's taking token measures to kind of appease people, but overall, I think, as you can see there, based on that description, a creepy little slime ball. Politicians in this country are not happy, and it's the same in other countries as well. I think what he said was he would make it in countries where it was illegal, it would not be accessible. But then somebody came on the television last night and said, you know, for example, child pornography, to create it in this country is not necessarily illegal. Sharing it is what is illegal. So based on that definition, people would still be able to go into the Grok feature there and undress minors and that kind of stuff. So the whole thing is very, very nasty. Why you'd have to come up with a tool like this to make people naked in their pictures and that kind of thing? I mean, it's unnecessary in the first place, and why it even exists, particularly on a mainstream platform like X, beggars belief. But anyway, there you go. Is it any wonder they're calling him a creepy little slime ball? I'm going to say, you know, just take Michael O'Leary's advice there and consider him to be what he is, an idiot, and pay no attention to him whatsoever. Anyway, but we have to be careful. We have to be careful because he is one of our sponsors of this country. X, the European headquarters based in Dublin, and they drop a lot of cash. They keep us afloat. So it's a fine line for the politicians and Micheál Martin and all the rest of it. And then, of course, there's the fact that he has the Donald's ear. So for all those reasons, as I say, that the higher-ups in the country tread the line. It's a fine line to walk, really, isn't it? But there you go. And just with regards, didn't give you the front headline or the front page story on today's Irish Daily Star. Again, it's in connection or in relation to a story that was front page news on all of the papers yesterday. The story of little Mason that was murdered at the hands of his stepmom. Awful, horrible case where the little kid was subject to the most awful of abuse in the last, he was only 4 years old, but eventually murdered by his stepmom, following a lot of abuse, that kind of stuff. The headline today in the Star: "My killer sister fooled us all." A sister of evil, Tegan McGee, who murdered her 4-year-old stepson, has called her a monster who fooled us all. Mason O'Connell Conway was killed by McGee in 2021, and she was jailed for life there yesterday, and there's a lot of coverage yesterday in all of the papers. Still some lingering coverage in the papers today as well, but front page news for today's Irish Daily Star, the fact that apparently her sister saying there that she had fooled them all and they had no idea of her violent tendencies and the abusive nature of what was going on in the household with that little stepson. Another rather interesting story that caught my eye in the Star as well, since we have it here in front of us, the windmills, and they might scare off the Loch Ness Monster, so locals are concerned anyway. Building work will kill off hopes of finding the Loch Ness Monster. That's what experts are claiming, and locals as well. Locals say the Scottish beauty spot is under threat from aggressive industrialisation with the wind farms and the water pumping stations and all that stuff. It might scare off that very elusive Loch Ness Monster, so concerns in that part of the world for those reasons. GlobalIrishRadio.com, GIR.ie, drop us a line if you'd like to hear some music, or if you want to go online to our website there's a request a song portal where you can go in, and when there are no live, when there's automated music programs on there, you can line up a tune that you might like to hear. Looking back as well, this week there was a notable obituary. One of the country's best known Irish traditional singers, Sean O'Shea, passed away at the age of 89. He would have turned 90 today, so a belated, I suppose, happy birthday in heaven to Sean O'Shea, a renowned tenor singer, a retired school teacher, affectionately known as the Pucker or On Pucker, a play on the comic song or Puck on Bwilla, which I think fact finder Ferguson for me was to do with an angry goat, in case you're wondering what that's all about. But anyway, there you go. It became a surprise hit single back in 1962 and made, as I say, Sean O'Shea a household name in many, many homes. So the Pucker passed away earlier this week. So let's take another tune to remember him on his birthday. Sean O'Shea and I Know My Love on the Daily Crack.
Dressed in his suit of blue, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? And still she cried, I love him the best, and a troubled mind sure will know no rest. And still she cried, funny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? There my true love goes every night. He takes a strange girl upon his knee, and don't you think now that angers me? And still she cried, I love him the best, and a troubled mind sure will know no rest. And still she cried, funny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? If my love knew that I could wash and wring, if my love knew that I could weave and spin, I'd make him a suit of the finest kind. But the want of money leaves me behind. And still she cried, I love him the best, and a troubled mind sure will know no rest. And still she cried, funny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? and I know my love roams the wide world over. In some foreign town he may chance to tarry, and some foreign maiden he'll surely marry. And still she cried, I love him the best, and a troubled mind sure will know no rest. And still she cried, funny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do?
Good deeds are great things, and a single good deed can grow into a forest of kindness. At treedeeds.com, you can dedicate a tree in someone's honour and make a lasting impact on the planet. Each tree is deeded and comes with a personalised certificate, perfect for birthdays, holidays, memorials, or just because. Celebrate life, give back to nature, and leave a legacy that grows. Visit treedeeds.com today. That's treedeeds.com. Rooted in Ireland, gifted worldwide.
The ground he walks upon, let him go, let him tarry, let him sink or let him swim. He doesn't care for me and I don't care for him. He can go and find another, and I hope she'll bring him joy. For I'm going to marry a far nicer boy. Some of his friends have a good kind wish for me, well, others of his friends, they would hang me from a tree. But soon I let them see my love, and soon I let them know that I can find a sweetheart anywhere I go. Let him go, let him marry, let him sink or let him swim. He doesn't care for me and I don't care for him. He can go and find another, I hope she'll bring him joy. For I'm going to marry a far nicer boy. You can go to his old mother now and set her mind at ease. Well, she's been old woman, she's very hard to please. Exploiting me and talking ill is all she's ever done. Since I was courting her great ugly son. Let him go, let him carry, let him sink or let him swim. He doesn't care for me, I don't care for him. He can go and find another, I hope she'll bring him joy. For I'm going to marry a far nicer boy.
Global Irish Radio is excited to partner with 950 WROL AM, the Spirit of Boston, to bring you portions of the Irish Hit Parade, providing the soundtrack to your weekend. Join Paul Sullivan on Saturdays 3 to 7 p.m. Irish time and famous Seamus Mulligan on Sundays 7 to 10 p.m. for a feast of Irish music. Streaming live from Boston right here on globalirishradio.com.
Yes, indeed, friends, from Boston to the world, right here on Global Irish Radio. It's the soundtrack to your Irish weekend, the Irish Hit Parade with Paul Sullivan on Saturdays, and on Sundays, Joe Reardon. Great Irish music from Boston. Check that out. It all comes to you courtesy of our good friends out there in the most Irish of cities in America, Boston, and Irish 950 WROL-AM, the Spirit of Boston, bringing you great Irish music now since 1967. How's about that? You've been listening to the Daily Crack with me, Sean G, here on Global Irish Radio, the Irish diaspora station. We're live from just outside Castlebar in Mayo, and the latest on the Lord of the Dance star, Michael Flatley. He's, if you're listening yesterday, will have heard that he's being sued in court. Forthcoming Lord of the Dance shows could fall apart because of an injunction to prevent the creator, Michael Flatley, from participating in the production. That's what the High Court in Belfast has heard. Counsel for the star also claimed that that he would be subjected to economic havoc if an action brought by the entertainment company that now runs the tour is dismissed. Switzer Consulting is suing the choreographer and dancer for alleged breach of contract. The case centres on an agreement they were said to have reached in 2024, allowing the firm to run Lord of the Dance. Earlier this week, Switzer obtained a temporary injunction to stop Mr. Flatley from interfering with the shows. Today, his lawyers questioned whether the interim order should have been granted, an ex parte hearing at which the star was not represented. So there you go. A little bit of trouble in the dance world there with Lord of the Dance creator Michael Flatley and the production company that now seems to have the rights to it, and centres around money, I think. Doesn't it always, says you. Anyway, what's the latest on this is a story that definitely caught my eye, given all that I got going on trying to get the Irish driver's license. But learner drivers are failing their tests due to severely faded road markings, according to a new report. The difficulty of tests has been compounded by unclear or invisible lines and symbols. The head of a major driving school has said, confusion caused by faded road markings has resulted in some people failing their driving test. And I can testify, it's true. There's a lot of, in fact, my own instructor said you'd nearly want to go down with a can of paint and paint the lines so that you don't fail, because if you cross those lines that are supposed to be there, and if you can't see them, it's hard not to cross them, you get 2 points deducted. And as the 2 points are added up, and if you get 8 or more, well, you're done and dusted. You have to go back to the back of the line and apply all over again. So, as you say, this is coming from a major driving school which has locations across Ireland, and I've watched at the direction of my instructor the Ladybird Driving School videos on YouTube, and they got some great videos on the instruction for the doing the test and how to do it. And although there's no substitute for getting in the car and doing it, but some great videos on there. But they're calling attention to the fact that a lot of the road markings here could do a little bit of updating. Right, before all of that, we had music from the Late Late Trad Show last week, and Eleanor Shanley and Lisa Canny, who performed Let Him Go, Let Him Tarry. We thought we'd share that with you on the programme today. And then the late Sean O'Shea, who would have turned 90 today, and I Know My Love. And earlier on the programme, we started out today, of course, with Johnny McAvoy, and after that, a nice instrumental or a little bit of traditional Irish music from Sharon Shannon, Queen of the West. Some of the music are the tunes that you've heard today here on the programme Global Irish Radio and the Daily Crack. Yes, the ranter has been in touch, and lots of interesting subjects up for discussion on tonight's episode of the Irish Ranter. Let me see if we can pull them. What are we going to be ranting about tonight? I hear you say there's lots to rant about. We're never stuck for material or things to rant about, because the world in which we live in, so imperfect, if you will. But anyway, here's what's on his mind this week. Corruption and hypocrisy. Paschal Donoghue is on his mind. And a teacher stealing 100,000. What that is all about, well, we'll have to wait and see, and tune in to the next episode of the Irish Ranter, which we think will drop later on tonight. He's also talking about Santa Claus judges again, and I suspect that might be related to a case that was in the news yesterday, where a guy literally was sentenced to 6 years in jail for randomly assaulting a guy, getting off his bike, punching the guy in the head. The guy fell, banged his head off the ground, His hands were in the pockets at the time, and the way he came down, he died basically. So the guy essentially killed him, and the judge dished out 6 years. 6 years for taking a man's life. So I suspect that may in part be related to why the issue of Santa Claus judges is rearing its head again on the ranter. 6 years, he'd be out after 3 or 4. So crazy stuff, and the family coming out talking yesterday, very unhappy at the leniency of that sentencing. He also wants to talk about high-powered cars and the illegal tampering of engines, particularly with regards as how it relates to Donegal youth. Apparently they soup up their cars, and as we know, there's always, I suppose, a higher than average rate of fatalities with youngsters in Donegal on the roads. And what else does he? Little interest in a united Ireland, according to him. He'll want to rant about that. And snap decision suicides. And I often say that suicide is a long-term solution to a short-term problem. So those are some of the points, or talking points, rants that will be happening on the Irish Ranter coming up later on tonight. We want to thank you for your company since 3 this afternoon. We're here with you most days between 3 to 4, keeping you up to speed on all that's happening here in Ireland, keeping you connected with Mother Ireland, if you will. And yeah. Oh, yes, the quote of the day as well. We must bring that to you before we finish up for a Friday. Today it comes from George Bernard Shaw. Great literary genius here in Ireland. And George Bernard Shaw says, "A happy family is but an earlier heaven." A happy family is but an earlier heaven. So says the great George Bernard Shaw this Friday. So hopefully yours is a happy one. We hope your Friday is a happy one. We hope your weekend's a happy one. And meet us back here Monday if you can, and we'll have lots more of the same. Great music coming up here throughout the weekend on Global Irish Radio. Great programmes coming your way throughout the weekend. Mr. Tom Flannery back tomorrow with the Good Morning Ireland radio show. Comes to you live from Chicago. A weekly roundup of all of the news. Great news segment with Eileen Magner, former RTE Northwestern correspondent, joins Tom live with the latest news. Also, the latest happenings from the Chicago Irish community. And if you are in Chicago and wanting to keep up on all that's happening in that great city, paddyfinder.com is your directory to all things Irish, all of the upcoming events and all of that nice stuff, and the debt notices, everything of that nature. And of course lots of other great programmes coming your way throughout the weekend. GlobalIrishRadio.com, GIR.ie. Check us out online. Give us a like on Facebook or Instagram, our newly created Instagram page as well. And mind yourselves. Have a great weekend. Thanks. Well, Margaret's not here today. No, she's not drinking the Irish coffees that she made yesterday. She's off, out and about, having a lovely Friday, as are lots of people, given the lovely weather. As you said, the weather nice here. Sun is out, sky's mostly blue. A little bit chilly, so wrap up well if you're heading out. It's been great being with you this Friday and every other day here on Global Irish Radio. See you back here on Monday. In the meantime, we'll leave you the music of Christy Hennessy, and he's singing about what we'll be doing all week long, all around the world. That's what Global Irish Radio does at the weekend. Christy Hennessy, happy Friday.
I've never seen a hamster dance. I've never met the Queen of Siam. I've never seen elephants hide. I've never watched a crocodile cry. You might say I've never lived at all. I wasn't there to see Niagara fall. I never knew that bishops lied. I never saw Hitler fight. I was out of town when Kennedy died, and slept right through the leap for mankind. You might say I've never lived at all. I wasn't there to see Niagara fall. All around the world there's lots of pretty girls. They say there's one for everyone. Well, I'm looking for the one who's looking you lie, and happy birthdays make me cry. You might say I never lived at all. I wonder what you see in me at all. All around the world there's lots of pretty girls. They say there's one for everyone. Well, I'm looking